Okay, so now we go into this thing called eternity future. We got a new Jerusalem, a new heaven, and a new earth. Let's talk about that quickly.
Remember our pillars: the rapture, the return, the retribution, which is the great white throne judgment, and after that, Revelation chapters 21 and 22. And as you said, new heavens, new earth, and a new Jerusalem. When you go over to Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 17, the prophet is recording what the Lord is going to say, and he says, I will create a new heaven and a new earth. Now that word create is bara in the Hebrew, same as used in Genesis chapter 1. I will bring something into existence out of nothing. We're not talking about refurbishing the old earth. We're talking about the Lord creating a new heaven and a new earth. Brand new. And then God the Father will bring down the new Jerusalem. Now there's going to be two Jerusalems in the end time scenario. There's going to be the new Jerusalem talked about in the book of Revelation chapter 21. That's going to hover over the earth, for example, like the moon. And the moon, the statistics of the moon, how large it is, etc., is very similar in size to the new Jerusalem. So it'll hover over the earth, but Jerusalem, there in Israel today, that will be the location for the Jews to have their king, King Jesus, their Messiah, and along with that, the former king of Israel, David, co-regent in that temple. And they will have an opportunity, 10 times the land that God has given them as of today, 10 times in eternity future, they get that land on the new earth. And that's where they're going to be forever. And there's going to be a temple there. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verses 26 and 28, it says this, Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. And I will place them and multiply them, and I will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forever. My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forever. In verses 26 and 28, it mentions the sanctuary, the temple that will be in Jerusalem. But the new Jerusalem, there is no temple. Revelation 21 verse 22 says there is no temple there because God and Jesus are there. And so we as Christians, the bride of Christ, we will be in the new Jerusalem, the Jews and those Gentiles who have come to know Christ as Lord and Savior, they'll be on the earth forever.
And we have access back and forth, both ways. Jews and Gentiles, Christians and Jews can go back and forth between the two. God gives us that freedom, and I think when He creates a new earth, it's probably going to be bigger. But I think the things that we see that we like, I think He's just going to make them more spectacular, maybe like it was when God made the earth the first time. But the fact is, I think the earth will be bigger. You can use your sanctified imagination and say, look at the stars, look at the billions of planets that are out in the universe. And I think of if God lets us explore in our sanctified bodies, our glorified bodies, if God lets us explore, we can go back and forth in a flash of a thought, and we can go to a new planet and see new things. It's like a new Disneyland on every planet. There's plenty of planets out there that we could visit and have new experiences all the time for all eternity. I don't know what God's going to do. I'm just simply saying God says it's going to be glorious. It's beyond anything that we can even imagine. God says, and I'm going to make it for you because I love you.